Hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec podcast, where I help you create a team worth leading. As always, I'm your host, Aviv Ben-Yosef, advisor and consultant to tech execs worldwide. And today we're going to be talking about still waters. And this is an episode recording in advance because, fingers crossed, we should be starting our Italian vacation right now. I'm hoping everything is well and no war has interrupted. So I'm sorry if I'm missing out on any events and not referring to them. And now let's talk about still waters. I'm guessing you know the proverb, still waters run deep. What this means is that you don't always have to enact so much force in order to get your way, in order to make something change. Even still waters, with time, can make things change. They can make their own paths. You see that in all the rivers in the world. How can you make that happen in your organization today? I want you to realize that so much of the success of leadership and culture forming is about being able to decide on small things and sticking to them, because these things compound as you act on these small habits, small defaults of your organization and stick to them day after day after day. With time, these change things enormously. I don't remember if I've told this story on the podcast before, but I used to have a sunspot on my face that was slowly getting bigger. So about 2 years ago, I went to a local cosmetic esthetician, I don't know what's the title, clinic, and they looked at it and told me, okay, look, usually here are a few things that you just need to be rubbing on your face daily and put sunscreen, and with time you're going to see an improvement, but we're going to let you know in advance. Most people don't do this as religiously as they ought to, and we end up starting to do some more aggressive treatments with acid and burning it, etc. And even then it might come back. Okay? But me, when you give me a habit, it just makes things so much easier for me as a geek. So I had to remind us to do everything in my phone. And 6 months later, I came back. They were aghast at the improvement that we had seen just because I was rubbing the things on my face as I was supposed to. So you put the lotion, you put the whatever, that's it. And now, more than 2 years later, they are still amazed every time I'm there for a checkup or for a facial treatment. They have to get a video for their Instagram to show the results you can get if you just stick to the routines. And I'm always like, what are you so excited about? You told me what to do and I did it. But for them, this is just so rare that they are so happy to see the results and someone actually sticking to it in a way that means that there's no regression. And the same is with any organizational change that you're doing. If you're just gonna announce, we're gonna change things, and from tomorrow we're gonna do this and that, and that's it. This is like getting that acid burning treatment. You might see some change for a few weeks, but with time, if that's all you did, you just did the aggressive thing, with time, if you don't have the habits, you're gonna be slowly degrading back to where you were. So you had a painful thing, you're back to where you were with time, and also you lost something. With facial treatments, you lost money. With organization, you're losing the trust of your team in any change you're going to try and make in the future. Instead, I want you to always think about, how do you systemize things? How do you create them into habits? Small decisions that you can stick to so that with time, these things become given in the organization. They no longer require any active thought. It's just the way we operate. How do you make that happen? And you can, trust me. I've seen a lot. I've written about this in my first book, The Tech Executive Operating System, when I talk about your change management system. How do you make changes in your organization? And the gist of it is that you have to communicate things properly, you have to think about the consequences, etc. But the most important thing in any successful change management is, how do you break this down to things that you can stick to regularly? So you see the improvement, you can fix things if these habits that you chose aren't the right ones, because it happens, we make mistakes. But if you announce something and only check up on it a quarter later, you missed out all the momentum. You just missed a quarter. But if you have these habits and you decide how you're going to check up on them, maybe once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever, check those. And you're going to realize how well you're doing and how you can fix things and improve things and reach a point where you're doing things that were in the past impossible, but now just sticking to it, you're gonna see these results accumulating. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a good time. I hope I'm having a good time in Italy as you're listening to this, and you're gonna get another episode next week.